Happy New Year! Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about what I learned from my first term of university. If you guys don't already know, I go to University of Waterloo for chemical engineering, and I'm just going to be talking about my thoughts and like any advice I have. So let's get on with the video. So my thoughts on first term. Honestly, first term wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Like, I thought I'd be crying, stressed out every single day, but it was actually a lot more manageable than I thought. It was still hard, like, don't get me wrong, but I think the profs and the TAs just gave us so much support. They were really understanding with like the situation and everything being online, and since everyone else was also in the same situation, everybody was super supportive and helping each other out, which was really good. Okay, the first thing I learned might be obvious to some people, but like it wasn't really obvious to me, or like it wasn't really something I thought about, but it's that you have to be taking notes differently for every class for it to be effective. At the beginning of the term, I was just taking notes the same way for every single one of my courses because it's just how I take notes. And then I realized like I wasn't even really learning half of the material because of the way I was taking notes. So throughout the term, I would like change my style for each course. And for some of the courses, I just ended up not taking any notes for because I realized I was just mindlessly copying down the notes. And then by the time I was done, I was like so done with doing that course and I didn't even want to read my notes, and I just wasn't learning effectively at that point. So yeah, like I think at the beginning of the term, you're not going to know exactly how each course is going to be taught or what is important to take notes on, but as the term goes on, you'll be able to adjust. The next thing I want to talk about is to focus on learning and not worry too much about your grades. Like, yes, grades matter to a certain point. Like, you need a certain GPA to make it to the next term, or especially if you're trying to do something after undergrad, you're going to need a good GPA, I think. Probably. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked that much into it because I'm personally not planning on doing more school after undergrad. Grades aren't the most important thing to me right now, and I'm really trying to focus on learning because I feel like if you focus on learning and stop like stressing about grades, those grades will get there. I know for me, especially in high school, a lot of times I was so focused on my grade instead of actually learning the material. So I would be studying the night before and not really understanding what I'm learning, but more just like memorizing it and then regurgitating it on the test, which gets me decent grades, but I forget it right away. So I don't know. I don't think that's really good, especially because you're paying you're paying a lot of money to learn. So I don't know. I would suggest trying to learn, especially because the material is like accumulative. So you're gonna need the content that you learned before in order to do the content you're currently learning. So I think it's just better focus on learning and understanding rather than the grades, because if you just focus on the grades, you're not going to understand, and then in the future it's just going to mess you up even more because then you have to learn what you didn't understand before plus the new content. I know people who don't have the best grades but have gotten co-ops, and other people who have like really good grades and still struggle to find co-op. So just don't stress about your grades too much. Focus on learning, focus on the experience, focus on making connections with others, and just like really enjoying your time at university. Okay, next is my biggest piece of advice. I don't know why I put it in the middle, but it's my biggest piece of advice, and that is to go to your TAs for help. I'm not sure if for every program there's something like this, but for engineering at Waterloo, they have WEEF TAs, which are like undergrad TAs, and they don't mark usually. They're just there to help you with your work and like your assignments and understanding concepts. And there's like a WEEF TA front desk where you can hop into a call and then ask for help for any assignment or course or just like anything you're not understanding, and then a TA will message you directly and you guys can like video call and they'll help you understand. It's honestly so helpful. Like, I wish I used it more, but like, you know, sometimes you're just scared to ask questions. I don't know why. Maybe that's just me, but like sometimes I'm scared to ask questions. Like, I feel like I have like really dumb questions, but just ask. I'm the type of person who needs to get all her dumb questions out for me to really understand the concept. Sum it up, just don't be afraid to ask questions, because asking questions will help you understand a lot more. And asking questions, like, the best way to learn, I think. I don't know. I feel like I've heard it somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong, but I understand a lot better after asking questions, even if they're stupid questions, even if they are barely related. As long as I'm asking questions, I feel like I'm learning a lot better. But yeah, so go to your TAs because they're genuinely trying to help you do well in the course. My next piece of advice, or like what I've learned, is to just go to the classes and office hours that you find useful and that you're actually paying attention to. Even if it is useful and you're not paying attention to it, I like either pay attention to it or just leave, because there's no point in wasting your time sitting around just having it open when you could be focused on other work, or just using this time to take a break and relax and just not think about school. For the first few weeks of school, I think I went to pretty much all of my classes and lectures and like office hours and stuff, but then as time went on, I slowly stopped going to a lot of them, because since school was online, like a lot of our lectures were already posted like at the beginning of the week, or they'll post them like throughout the week, and some of the live lectures or like office hours are based on those lectures. And I have like my own schedule on what lectures to do first or what course I'm going to look at first. So then sometimes my schedule doesn't align with when the profs are doing their lectures. So I'd go into a lecture and I'd have no idea what they're talking about, or I'd be so confused because I haven't even looked at their recorded lectures that they're talking about. So it's just, yes, I probably should be attending because it's new information and I don't understand, but it was to a point I didn't understand anything because I haven't looked at the lecture, so it was just useless for me to go. Which leads me to my next piece of advice, is to not leave things till the last minute. Try to do things as soon as they're given to you, and try to have a good schedule. I'm slowly getting better, but it's still like a work in progress. It takes time to change habits, and don't be discouraged if you still have poor habits or you're still having trouble managing your time. I know like that's still something I'm working on. Just don't be discouraged. Everybody has their own way of doing work. Another piece of advice is group chats are really useful. Like, even if they're really annoying because people keep talking because there's so many people in it, they're useful. Like, I think it's good to just have it there just for like reminders and stuff, because honestly I feel like I wouldn't have gotten through my first month of university if I wasn't in the group chat, because they're just like little things, like little reminders people say, or like people ask questions that sometimes I don't realize that I don't know until I hear someone else ask a question, and I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I know the first month it was kind of difficult adjusting to everything, and the group chat was just so good because people would be like, oh, here's the link for this lecture, oh, this is the time for this lecture, oh, there's an office hour at this time, and it just really helped me keep track of everything, and it just made everything a little more manageable. On the topic of making things a little more manageable, I would suggest to try to reach out to some people in your program and become with some people in your program, because I feel like it's just really nice to have someone doing all the same courses as you, so you guys can, you know, struggle together, stress together, and just like get through the term together. I think it's just really nice knowing that there's someone else who can relate to you, especially with school being online and a lot of people are studying at home. They're mainly just surrounded by their families, so it's nice to be able to have some people who are also in the same position as you to talk with, I guess. I don't know, I feel like it really made my first term a lot more manageable, and also they're just people that I can ask for help whenever I'm confused about something and too scared to go to a TA. Don't be afraid to ask others for questions either. Literally everybody is so nice, and so willing to help because everybody's struggling and stressing. So like, you guys are all on the same page. Nobody is trying to like come after you. I know some programs are like really competitive and people are like really competitive with each other, but I feel like my program, everybody is like pretty friendly. I don't think anybody's really, you know, trying to sabotage anyone to make them get a worse grade. Everybody's just trying to help each other make it through the term. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I hope this helps a bit now or in the future. And I hope you guys are all staying safe and have a great start to the new year. Bye!